Namaskar and hello out there. Abhidevananda here, still hovering over the Ocean of Bliss, although now the night has descended. But that's right, it's still the Ocean of Bliss, not the Atlantic, not the Pacific, the Ocean of Bliss. And the weather is great, not too hot, not too cold, it's just right. Well, better to say, in my opinion, it's just right. For what do we really know with this tiny intellect? Go on, tap your head. Try it. It will sound a bit hollow, like a drum. Something on the outside, but empty inside. So human beings, we have opinions, we have beliefs, and maybe, just maybe, we struggle to know the truth or to attain perfection. But struggle only means that we have not yet attained the goal. And is our ultimate goal even possible to achieve while still in this mundane existence? In short, struggle or sadhana is our plight, and it is our life. It is the essence, the true meaning of being human. The struggle of a spiritual aspirant is in 4 stages. The first 3, Jatamana, Bhatireka, Ekendriya, culminate in a 4th stage that is purely psycho-spiritual. That 4th stage, Vashikar, does not concern us today because it might have only limited, if any, collective expression. Today, let's just talk about the first 3 stages. There's a well-known story about a dog that managed to travel all the way from Varanasi, Benares, to Calcutta in just one day. Just a single day. And when questioned by the Calcutta dogs as to how he managed such a long journey in that short a time, the reply given was, "By the grace of my enemies." Every time the dog entered a new town and thought to take some rest, the other dogs, the dogs that lived in that town, they just chased him away. So he kept moving and moving and moving and finally reached Calcutta without pause. So we can also gauge our journey on the basis of the enemies we face. In stage 1, the enemy is largely external. So too for Ananda Marga. In stage 2, the enemy is largely internal. Again, so too for Ananda Marga. And in stage 3, where we are now, the enemy is ourselves. When Ananda Marga began, we struggled for recognition by society, and we faced an enemy who was largely outside of us, societal, governmental. And in the final phase of Jatamana in India, our Gurudev was arrested and our organization was banned. But we overcame that by Baba's grace. In stage 2, the enemy was largely internal. Baba was fine-tuning our organizational structure. He added many new departments and set new policies, largely, or so it seems, to strengthen our mission. When a problem arose, Baba would adjust some element of our organization. For example, at the start of Baba's second world tour, he flew first to Bangkok. In Bangkok, he stayed for a day, and then the very next morning, he and his entourage traveled on to the Philippines, where he was scheduled to remain for the next week or more. But on arrival at the Manila airport, with hundreds or maybe thousands of Margis waiting eagerly outside for Baba to emerge, the immigration officials refused to let our party disembark. And soon thereafter we were all sent back to Thailand. On that Japan Airlines flight from Manila to Bangkok, Baba called me over to sit next to him. Baba was sitting in the window seat, Ramananji was on the aisle, and I was in the middle. Perhaps we were all toward the rear of the plane, but definitely in economy class. Baba explained to me that on arrival in Manila, some Philippines officials boarded the plane and informed Baba and his entourage. I actually wasn't a part of that entourage. I was traveled from Bangkok to Manila on a separate plane, so I didn't see this. Baba explained it to me, and Baba said that those officials informed everyone, Baba and his entourage, that they were just refusing entry to Baba. Of course, they knew that no one would enter if Baba did not, but Baba focused on just their words. And to me he said, "You see, they are afraid of me." Baba added, "A man of just 5 foot 2 inches in stature. But they are not afraid of you boys." Baba just loved that word boys. And yes, he used it in a generic sense to include not just men, but also women. But anyway, coming back to the point, Baba said, "They are afraid of me, but they are not afraid of you boys." My reply was, "It is our defect, Baba." And Baba was very satisfied with that reply. He said, "Yes." And well, the upshot of it was that Baba granted my request that we be allowed to start Samaj movements outside of India. But Baba's own solution was to create trio offices, offices in which the 3 trades at that time, the 3 trades of Proudest Universal, Seva Dharma Mission, and VSS, would share the same space and find ways thereby to better coordinate their activities. So for the most part, Stage 2 was about internal adjustments. Internal weaknesses and threats were minimized or marginalized. So, for example, a worker who had acted in a treacherous fashion was effectively banished, not permitted to stand before Baba, and that continued until Baba's physical departure. For it was only on Baba's physical departure that our organization could enter Stage 3, Ekendriya. Ekendriya, where we are now, if we could measure danger, Ekendriya, well, if danger even had any meaning when the Almighty is always with us, then Ekendriya is certainly the most dangerous phase of development. In every phase of development, people lose faith and fall by the wayside. But in Ekendriya, it is very easy for a spiritual aspirant to get proud of her or his achievements, get inflated with the vanity of post as if I really did something to deserve such a high position or so much importance, or as if I had done anything at all of merit. And when that vanity rises, when one's pride is inflated, then, as the saying goes, pride goes before the fall. And that is exactly what we are seeing today. In India, most senior workers imagine themselves to be bigwigs, great dignitaries. And when there was not enough room in one organization to fit all those inflated egos, they just created a few more organizations. Crazy, is it not? But this phase is not just visible inside India and with Indian workers. Non-Indian workers also exhibit signs of overweening vanity. Perhaps some of these seniors are aware of this problem and try to control it. I know that I personally must struggle with it daily. But those who just give in to their delusions of grandeur, well, they are lost. At the end of the day, we are all of us his tiny children. Somewhat stupid. Hollow, right? We need to abandon all of the pretentiousness, all of the arrogance. Believe it or not, the Hindus are not the chosen people of God, the Jews of Ananda Marga. And the Bengalis are not Ananda Marga's saviors. They are not all Jesus Christ. Some think that Baba took birth in India 3 times. Wow, 3 times, because India is the promised land, the most meritorious countries. But is that how Taraka Brahma operates? Does he go to live an easy life in a pre-existing paradise? I don't think so. Generally, he comes down to lift up the lowest of the low. So it could just as easily be that Baba took birth in India because it is the worst country in the world. The simple fact is that we don't know why he chose to take birth there. We can only speculate. And most people are wired to believe what they want to believe, to imagine as true whatever is most convenient for them. But that confirmation bias is nothing but arrogant and willful ignorance, and it is the source of most discord in the world. Baba once explained how the Sanskrit word for meditation, dhan, transformed into Zen. Dhan, Chan, Chen, Zen. And similarly, he explained how the Sanskrit term Tantra became Tao and Taoism. Tantra, Tao Ta, Tao, Taoism. So in the words of the great Chinese tantric, Lao Tzu, those who know do not speak. Those who speak do not know. In other words, in Ananda Marga today, instead of pretending wisdom, better to always strive to be wise. Instead of pretending to know more or better than Baba, we should constantly struggle to be worthy of him. Namaskar.